Hello lovely people, I'm back with another Quilter's Vibe, and this is the inspiration piece. Lots and lots of squares. Now I had a look at it and it would really easily translate to a 12 by 12 page if I wanted to do the entire thing as a quilt. I do want to do it as a quilt, but as a layout. So if this would be, you know, if each of these would be 6 inches, 2 inches each, and then that one would probably be 4-inch square, and then this one would be a 6, and so on and so on. And then some of these could be photos and some of these could be embellishments. And I had a set of photos that has little ones and a big one, which I printed with and without a border to see which one would be better. Same with this and this other one, which we may not use. Anyway, so I was thinking one big one and then a few of the maybe three of the smaller ones. So yeah, I threatened Sarah with Hello Kitty and Love Elsie mashup, and that's exactly what she's going to get. Sorry Sarah, most people don't want to know the inner workings of my head and how these things come about, but that's what we're doing. So for some bizarre reason, I think because of the squares and the idea of one larger photo and a few smaller ones, that's why I thought about using these photos for this Quilter's Vibe. Something kept telling me add aqua, add aqua. So the aqua is a teeny tiny nod to the original, and I think it will stand out. So I can't promise it's going to work. It could go horribly wrong. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. Let's see what happens, and hopefully it's not going to be too much of an assault on Sarah's senses. Here we go. Now, I'll show you. I have not very many Elsie papers left, but I have some, and I knew that that was the first place I would look to find pink and red and black together. They're from a few different collections. Some of them both sides will work. This one, that's very cream and green, maybe not so much, but that side, I love this side. I definitely want some of this side. And black and white stripe, perfect. Really like this, because this is the sort of aqua blue that I wanted, not the greeny kind. And this is the kind that you just don't see very many designers making paper in anymore. Some of Amy Tangerine's B-sides are a little bit along these lines in terms of colour, but not very many. I'm actually thinking that cutting some of these out and using them as embellishments, that's just plain, that might work. Red and pink and reds. Ooh, yes. This one is another variation. That's pretty much the same colour, just lighter. So, alright, that's Claire. This is Betty. That first one, there's Roxy, and I think, oh, there might be Zoe somewhere as well. Okay, so it's a whole mashup of different Elsie collections. Yeah, not that side. I think this was probably the paper that I thought about. It's kind of that mosaic-y, hand-scrawled one. If that wasn't brown, I would definitely consider it. And this is what I thought I'd use as a background. I don't know if you can see, but Love Elsie had these. I'm really sorry about the just really bad lighting because it's an awkward time of the day. It's an embossed cardstock, and this one just has all different speech bubbles. I thought this one would work out of all of them. Got them in all the different colours, but I think I wanted white. And reason being is because I changed my mind about doing the entire page as a 12 by 12. I thought I'd do, say, maybe an 8 or 9 inch block and just do part of the original image. So more blue, not brown. This pink, not the purple. This is from a Dear Lizzie paper pad, but it really looks like it could belong to the same collection. And then there's a bunch of scraps. So Chamel, a bit of October Afternoon, a bit more Chamel, a bit of crepe paper. Oh, this is more Elsie. I think it was this side that I pulled it out for. And lots of black and whites, what we've been using. This is, I think this is Shoreline from American Crafts. So yeah, this shows it's been a while since those sorts of aqua blues have been around. So that's the other bit of that Love Elsie. Black, white, grey, pink and red, perfect. And these cameras, they also combine pink and red. Okay, that gives me somewhere to start. It's way more paper than I need, seriously. I also pulled out a whole bunch of different frames that I thought I could use instead of some of the squares laid up, that I could use a frame as part of that. So I am going to trim the branding strip off the background, and actually before I do that, just want to figure out, I could shrink the entire thing down to about 9 inches, but I think what I wanted to do was just take, yes, it was just this section, so cut off that 2-inch bit, and then that would be sort of 6 and then 10. But I think if I do these at 1.5 instead of 2, or even do that at 5 and do these at 2, something like that. Okay, I'm going to cut that down just like that, because this is why I often print them out, so that I can chop and change them, and it just makes it sort of easier. I can scribble on them. Sometimes I make notes about what colours are going to be where. Right, that. But we're going to blow it up to, I'm thinking, because I don't want this background to be sort of completely lost. It would be like about this much. I think it'll be okay at 9. Worst case scenario, I'll just have to crop it back. Alright, we'll stick to 9. Okay, I've cut up my photos, and I think I'm going to use the smaller one with the border of this, and that works out to be about 3.25 with the white border. And then there are these. See, the smaller ones are just way too small, and these ones I think are around about 2 inches, a little bit shy of that, so I will probably put a white border around those. I don't need that one, so there'll be these 3 and that. And I wrote down the measurements just so I know how to cut the paper. That will be 5 and 2 and 2, so that's a 4 and that's a 4. This one needs to be 3 in order to get 9 across the bottom here. So I like that, that's a little bit different. So I've got 2, 3 and 4. I do need a spot for journaling too before I forget. It's not going to have a whole ton. I could write, I suppose, just on the thing. I also want to use some Embellish With Flair flares, because I thought they'd look kind of cute dotted around like. So I'm just going to cut paper and then just see. Okay, let's put this thing more or less together, at least the base layers. This is where we're at so far, and I'm thinking that if I make a 9-inch template and sort of center it kind of roughly in the middle of the page, I go around the edge with one of these. They're just distress paint. 9-inch template coming up. Okay, I found this bit of paper in my scrap box. I like the ledger, not likely to use the aeroplanes, so I'm going to put it down, this side down, and then go over. Now, which colour? I pulled out a couple of pinks, a blue, a grey and a black. Now, I'm thinking there's probably enough pink. The blue is brighter than that, but not as bright as that. I do quite like the grey though. Yeah, maybe grey. I'll just go grey. Okay, template. That's more or less even. Shake up the hickory smoke. So I'm overlapping the pattern paper a bit because I don't want to, I'd rather cover some of that than go too far onto the background, and the idea is so that it looks like the actual, there's a whole painted square underneath. I think it actually does make some of the pattern show up, and it's just going to be very messy, very light, and plenty of scratchy brushy bits, which Sarah, at least she'll approve of that. And that's actually going to give me a bit of a guide as to where to stick everything. That's not going to take long to dry at all. Am I going to ink edges? I'm leaning towards yes. I've got the black soot here at the ready, so I might as well. I'm just going to put the tiniest little bit of adhesive because I want to stitch. I'll probably stitch straight through the middle, except except this one's going to have that frame in. Now I'm just going to overlap. I'd rather, if there's going to be a gap, it be sort of in the middle, somewhere here. I haven't decided whether I want something additional behind this or not. I might. I'm thinking that I want some of that really, really bright blue behind this one. Just a teeny, teeny little bit, like that much. Okay, so I might actually take those off for now. Do the up and down stitching, the crisscross stitching, and then come back and add the frame one. Oh yeah, these guys. Okay, time to sew, and then I will be back. And yeah, it's nice and dry. Okay, all stitched down, and I'm in two minds about how to adhere the chipboard to the corners. Initially I thought I'd stitch it down. You can sew through it, but because this has staples here, I might just use the tiny attacher, and that way it'll sort of coordinate with that. I think before I change my mind I should just do it. I've left the loose threads wherever possible because I think to this layout they'll add to it rather than anything else, because it's sort of a bit fun and whimsical. And I think we might just need a tiniest little bit of blue up there. I mean, there'll be other embellishments to come. I might just leave those. Okay, I'll just do the stapling. I sort of bent that back to sew under it. I might have to do something about that. Okay, now flare badges need to go on, and photos. I'll put that one there. Oh, hang on, no, it goes like that. Yep. Where is the other one? The grey one. There. Okay. I forgot to ink those frames. Seriously, this is not my day. It's one of those days where sometimes you just wonder whether you should have even got out of bed, and I probably wouldn't have, except that I had to drive everybody to school and work and stuff. Okay, right, I've got my train of thought back. Ink before I forget that, and then gluing down. What I think I'm going to do is not ink the actual white framed photo. Yeah. Okay. I'm probably not, yeah, I'm not going to use the pop it up on anything either. Now, the glue, I need to stitch down the, not stitch, oh my gosh, that would just kill my sewing machine, wouldn't it? Stick down the flare, and I just use the permanent glue dots, usually about 2, depending on how accurately they go on. Okay, I'll get the title sorted first and then worry about the rest. Now I've got a whole bunch of different stickers. I've got, see, that's got the word hello there. Then there's these sorts of ones. That might be a bit big. This had a, oh, there's a hello. And then all these glittery ones. I probably should just choose one though. And I'm leaning towards these Fitzgerald ones because they're tall and narrow. So I'll be able to get more in. And I will probably need some small stickers. If I do the second part of the title in black and turquoise, I'm hoping you get the idea that it goes together, even though I'll start there and finish here. Yeah? Okay. If I use the scripted ones, that might be a nod to this. Okay, well, I'm back, and I'm going to try it without the extra overhead light and see if it's any better. Now, I was thinking, and you know when that happens, it usually is not good. And I'm thinking that the photos are getting a little bit lost in the chaos because we're going to add more chaos. So I'm thinking I'm going to pull them up, put some foam on the back and put them back down again. I like to try and coordinate the colours so that if you see it from the side it's not too, I guess, eye-catching. So I'll see if any, these offcuts should fit the little, yeah, they'll fit the little ones. I am going to stick the adhesive side to the photo and then add the permanent glue dots to the foam because I do have this, yeah, some of them have the stitching underneath. Yeah, see, that's a lot better. It's not super thick foam. The badges and the chipboard sit up quite high, and I thought, well, the photos are sort of losing prominence. I was also thinking, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do this, to put some kind of ink splatters on the diagonal or even on the corners. And if I was going to, the question would be what colour. So if I'm going to do that, now would be a good time because the photos haven't gone. I can move those and then do that. I'm just not sure. Alright, well, I'm going to try the mist. I've got 2 colours of Heidi Swap blush and pink. I just noticed that could just be my eyes, but it doesn't look in focus. But anyway, I apologise if that is the case. Hopefully you can still figure out what's going on. So I'm going to pull up this sticker and then I'm going to put the mist on. I'm not going to worry about that, and I've already shaken them up. Opening them is another story. Okay, most of that's dry, that'll do. Okay, that's almost dry, so I'm going to put the photos back and then figure out what I'm going to do for embellishment. Right, I need to stick these on, don't I? Now, embellishment time. So, first things first. Should pick the Hello Kitty elements, of which there are plenty. And there's some little tiny stickers, because I have this bag of random little Disney ones, and I don't really use these for scrapbook pages. I put them mainly on envelopes and packages and things when I send them off. This is from an ancient calendar, and this sheet is like no longer sticky because that's how old they are. I think it's like 2006. There's a heart there in the right colours. Do Daniel's in the right colours, but I don't really want him. Sorry, Daniel. Ideally, I want her with the red bow because that's what's on the shoes. I was thinking this one. It's a hot pink bow, not red, but she's all dressed up, so it's the right kind of vibe. Otherwise, there's this one. She's just a classic. And I could just use maybe one, actually maybe I will use her like that, because I could put her just about anywhere. This one's a little bit directional, and so it would have to go on this side. Alright, that's what I'm going to do. Before I change my mind, what I'm going to do is cut out the now. This is perfect. She's pink and red. Where are we going to put her? She needs to be somewhere that sort of is emphasis. Yeah, I'm not loving that blob there, so maybe I could put her like this and sort of shape the title to sit just like that. That's what I'll do. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that I'm going to use more, like some of the little ones. But for now, only thing, yeah, I might have to move her just a smidge so that the E can still be, I mean the L at the top here was starting to be a bit illegible. I still feel like I want a little one somewhere up here. I do. Hang on, where's that heart one? What if I put this one there? Because she's got the right bow. What if I put that on? That's pretty good actually. Hopefully that will stick. And then that O can just sit on the top. Okay. Now I want to figure out all these things. Because, you know, if I'm going to go Love Elsie, I might as well go to town. These have the perfect colours. Some of them are really big though. The thing that I also want to do is I want to bring in as many of the stars as I can to sort of complement these. So that big button is speaking to me. There are some actual star shapes on this one, and this aqua button too. I want that one, not the green. This one says favourite shoes, but that's okay. I can use that for another layout because I may or may not have more shoe layouts. These rubbery things are awesome. Look at those. There's a star there. They're very cool. And the heart. Yeah, there was another packet I had of the rubbery ones. Where did it go? Here we go. I think, like with these cameras and other little bits that I was going to tuck, it's just, I think it's not going to work. I think we just sprinkle on the diagonal and be done with it. So I'm going to have to figure out which of these things I'm going to use. They are mercifully on clear backings, but they're not very sticky, so I think I'm just going to put them the way they are and then attach glue dots as needed. Maybe there's not a lot of aqua up there, because I do want to go across this way too. They're not going to be nearly as obvious, but this heart's really nice. Maybe we just use 2 of those. Just leave that for now. Get these buttons and also these, they call them gel stickers. Because there's a couple of stars here. Where do I need more aqua? Here maybe? Now I don't know if this is going to work, so bear with me. No, not there. I mean, I do want aqua there, but it's just not working the shape with those flares. Alright, what I normally do is what I do like is to sort of overlap some of these splatters but not completely cover them, and hopefully that black will sort of draw a bit of attention to the title. I'm wondering, what if I use these to embellish the photos and then just use the buttons for the diagonal? What if I do that, like, you know, this kind of business, not on the photo exactly, but this one's already got some stuff happening. I'm still undecided about this rubber charm, to be honest. I might have to go back. I hate it when that happens. It makes me sad because I don't like putting things back. Alright, where do we need more black? What about light blue? Where do we need light? Actually here would be a good spot for light blue. Now this definitely wants some of this bright blue up here. This one keeps sort of looking at me because of that, it's light blue. Almost have a cluster happening here. Oh my gosh, I should not have done that. I actually don't mind that. Oh, that gives me a thought now. Really bad idea. Now I want to add extra things to all these other ones. But I won't, I'll just do the diagonals as the, as the special kind of treatment ones. Now, I might overlap that little one, which I might even switch out for a bigger one. Okay, I have tacked all these buttons in place with just my adhesive roller. Now that's not going to hold them in the long term, but that's the idea. I just need to hold them enough to be able to stitch them down. I didn't want to use glue dots because that's going to be murder on that needle going through. I ended up deciding to put the journaling just here because there wasn't a whole lot of it. So I thought, well, I'll either put it there or there, and the reason I chose to put it down the bottom is because there's this heavy black element at the top, and I thought it sort of looked more balanced like that. Can't explain it. Sometimes you just can't explain it. It is what it is. So, oh, I need to fill in the date. Okay, there's the date, and I'm thinking, do I stop or do I keep going? Like I could put just one little heart with every photo. So there'd be maybe 3 altogether. I'm just it wants me to do it. What do I do? See that hot pink one? How nice does it look there? And look at this one. That really echoes that print beautifully. I'll put some on and then I'll see, because I can always take them off. They go on and off pretty easily. Just sort of the opposite to where the enamel thing is. Okay. I didn't end up using the Converse shoe on this page, but I have pink Converse pages to come, so yeah, I'll use that. I can see Sarah recoiling in horror at any more pages that look like this, so I do apologise for desecrating her quilter's vibe, but it is what it is. That's the risk when Alex plays. So I'm going to leave it here. If you want to see the pictures with the thread, they'll be on the blog, which I'll link below. but the sooner I start editing and uploading this, the sooner it gets up on my channel. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for putting up with odd lighting and me being out of frame and the camera cutting out and all kinds of technical stuff that I am trying to improve on. There'll be detailed photos and all of that kind of thing. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you very soon with another video.